STEM in early childhood allows children to learn more about science, mathematics, engineering, and technology within other curriculum areas. STEM is important because early exposure to these concepts will help early childhood learners develop a love and interest for these fields, giving them more of an opportunity to pursue STEM careers later in life. STEM skills include observation, discussion, listening, engaging in conversation, appropriate social interaction, content-based vocabulary, inquiry and thinking, and expression. Other skills also include fine gross motor skills, using and implementing tools, exploration, and discovery. For this activity, early childhood educators were asked to select a museum local to them that they can take their class to. For this activity, we visited the Witte Museum local to San Antonio. When you select a museum, you want to make sure that you're selecting a location that offers activities that fulfill student learning outcomes. The student learning outcomes for this activity will be to identify the developmental sequence of STEM skills in young children. So when you're selecting a museum to do this assignment, you'll want to identify what your preschool or elementary school standards are relating to STEM content. You want to design and discuss developmentally appropriate activities that relate to STEM, or you could look to see what activities the museums have. Can you bring those into your classroom? Identify and explain modifications and methodology appropriate to meeting various student needs across the different STEM content areas. Describe inquiry process in the young learner. Identify research related to the field of study in early childhood education and understand its significance. Design educational support materials that promote family engagement. Something we did in this video was go through their brochure, and you can see all of the different programs available to both students and families that are interactive and engaging. After entering the Witte, I went straight to the front desk and I asked what kinds of resources they have either for parents or for children, and they actually gave me this really cool pamphlet that's for educators, and it basically talks about how to plan your school trip or the different activities they offer for students. Every fourth grader is free at the Witte, and there is free admission to all college students as well. So this is great if you're in your graduate or undergraduate program and you're about to become an educator. It's a really great way to explore the local museums and see what's offered. In this pamphlet, they go over all of the different activities offered in the museum, and they also discuss the different interactive activities. So they offer a schedule online. I'll post the link in the description below, where you can see different activities that are live performance or they're science-based activities. You'll notice in this pamphlet they have specifically STEM showcases where they do different demonstrations, which I thought was really interesting. So in this video, we weren't able to cover all of the exhibits in the Witte just because they have so many great offerings. We really just wanted to focus in on two of the exhibits. So we looked at the Naylor Family Dinosaur Gallery, which you're seeing right now, and we also investigated the Texas Wildlife Gallery. Both are just really incredible and a great way to kind of look at the history of the Earth and look at Texas geology. So in the pamphlet, the Dinosaur Gallery is described as step into the distant past, where you can explore animals that lived here more than 110 million years ago. So you see, as we're walking through it, the big dinosaur bones, you can look up, you can look down, you can look all around, and you really just take in these enormous creatures that once existed. So it's very fun to look at. The walkthrough is wonderful. At each of the dinosaur stations, they have these great descriptions of the animals, when they existed, what part of the earth they're from, where they're found. So it's a great way to walk through and read about each creature as you're going through it. They also have digital touchscreens that provide a lot of information as well. So you can click through it and they have little videos on those touchscreens, and they kind of tell you a little bit more of the history. So not only can you read it, you can also watch about it, which I think is really great because it provides those pictures as well. On some of the exhibits, you can actually touch the fossil skin, which is really fun. It kind of gives you a little peek into what to expect there. Adjacent to the dinosaur exhibit is the Dinosaur Lab, which is a really fun interactive setting for the kids where they can go investigate. They have several drawers and they're at child height, which I think is so important because it gives them the ability to pull those drawers out and investigate what's inside. So you're able to see the different types of dinosaur bones, the different fossils, which I think is just so interesting that they have these pieces here available. And it's a really incredible experience as far as being able to pull those out and take a closer look. So it's a great way for the kids to investigate and really explore a little bit further. And they're able to reach it and they're able to pull it out. Being able to use those tactile skills throughout this is a great way to learn, and it really reinforces what you're seeing by touching. The Dinosaur Lab also offers an interactive activity called the Dinosaur Dig, which is just the most fun. They have a faux fossil buried there, and they offer basically brushes where you can push the dirt away off the bones, and you can see that demonstrated by my boyfriend there as he uncovers a little dinosaur fossil. So this is a really great way for them to get into the sand, actually do the experience, and it's a really cool exploration excavation for the kids to experience. Another activity located in this setting is What the Footprints Reveal, where they have a mold of a dinosaur footprint where you can put your foot in, and then they have the leg of a giant dinosaur there, and they have kind of like a yardstick on the window where you can actually measure up to see how you compare to the leg. In addition to this, they have interactive screens, so you can do the dig that you saw previously digitally, which I think is great as far as accommodating kids who can't either get on their hands and knees and dig or don't quite have the mobility to be in there and dig. So this is a great way. You can walk right up to it and you can click through the screens, and it gives you the option to kind of excavate for dinosaur bones digitally. It's very easy to use. You can click through different types of tools as you're going through it. So if you want to use the pickaxe or if you want to use the brush, you get to select it, and you can see one obviously does more work than the other. So this is a great interactive tool that's offered digitally in addition to the hands-on experience in the Dinosaur Dig. What you're watching now is the McLean Family Texas Wild Gallery. It's described in the brochure as exploring the various ecosystems of the state and the floral and fauna which fill these regions. So this is just a beautiful display. It's got stuffed animals that are local to Texas all throughout the display, so you're able to see what those different animals are. You see all of the different plants that are local to Texas. And as you're walking through it, it's a great way to be able to touch everything. So they have tortoise shells, they have patches of fur. You're able to actually touch the different materials that are making up this display. So you'll get to feel like the buffalo fur or the badger fur. And as you're walking through it, just the lighting is done so well, and every corner is filled with some different kind of animal or some different kind of plant. As we're walking through this, we can see the ceiling getting a little bit darker, and you look up and you notice that the weather is changing above your head. We actually heard thunderstorms, we saw a flash of light, and you see the clouds moving on the ceiling, which I think is just so wonderful as far as just really utilizing the space and just making every moment really an experience with science and with the geology of Texas and the environment. So really great way to introduce weather and those different kinds of concepts within science, taking a look at the different ecosystems the animals are in, and really just kind of finding different plants and different flowers that are a part of the Texas culture and region. A great extension on this walkthrough would actually be to go on a nature walk with your kids in your class. You could take them just right outside, right behind the Witte Museum is Brackenridge Park, where you can see everything you're seeing in this display here. So you'll see the ducks floating in Brackenridge. You can see these trees growing right there in that park. You can pick up those leaves and see the birds that are, local to our area. So that would be a really good extension. As you continue to walk through this, they offer more opportunities for you to read about the different creatures that live here and really just offer a lot of literature in the presentation that you see. Each of the exhibits in the Witte offer a lab that you can go investigate in, which I think is just wonderful because you can just keep going back and doing these interactive activities. So what you're looking at right now is the live animal lab. So they offer a lot of different creatures here. We zoomed in on a tortoise. He was very active. They have different snakes. They have bird watch cameras where you can actually look at a live bird nest in New York and one in Seattle and see these birds building their nests and feeding their babies. They also offer more of these drawers that we experienced in the Dino Lab, where you can look at the different specimens, the different sizes of the eggs that the birds offer. So it's a great way to identify, especially local to us here in Texas, the different creatures that are around. On your way out of the museum, I would recommend stopping by the gift shop. The museum's put together a great grouping of different children's literature books in regards to the exhibits that they have. So you'll see books on dinosaurs, you'll see books on wildlife, you'll see books on sea creatures. So it's just a great way to stock your classroom up with these kinds of books, and really a great bridge activity as well. Overall, the trip to the museum was wonderful. The exhibits are beautiful and maintained well. The materials are excellent. My highlights from the visit were the hands-on features, being able to dig for a dinosaur, being able to touch the fur of the different animals, really just provides a wonderful sensory experience in addition to the written materials at each station. I would recommend looking into the interactive experiences and demos they offer and taking advantage of the free days every month. I would recommend this museum to elementary level kids and up. The majority of the exhibits are designed for this age group. In addition to the sensory experiences, the museum does offer digital experiences as well with the touchscreen activities and phones. So accommodations are available for children with impairments, especially if they're not able to do more of the hands-on experiences. All of the floors offer elevators and wide doors in addition to stairs. However, the outdoor experiences like the treehouse and access to Brackenridge Park are not accessible via wheelchair. There are quite a bit of stairs and we didn't see any ramps. The Witte supports developmentally appropriate practice. The entire space was geared towards being able to move and being able to touch. Staff is present in each room of the exhibit, so it was just so easy to go up and ask questions, which we did quite a bit of. The museum also offers week-long daytime summer camps for the kids, and the staff is trained specifically for the children's needs. In addition to the camp, every day they offer different demonstrations or different workshops, and then they have a monthly calendar of events for both children's and families. So they offer different events. They do jazz on Sundays, they do science demonstrations, they do like little night at the museum demonstrations. So really great as far as involving both children and families. Really comfortable setting to be in.